Okay, so it's been a while since I've done a tutorial, but I figured out how to add textures. I'll do that eventually, but first we're gonna make something out of this. So if you remember from last tutorial, we have that box. Now, what we want to do, so we have that box and it's slightly above the ground, but whatever, that doesn't really matter. What we're gonna try to do is we're just gonna try to add a pole sticking out the top of it. This doesn't really mean anything, but we're just going to try to do it. So, if you figured out by now, we're going to have to add another one of these. So, let's just call it box 1 equals new model render this, and then since we're not doing textures yet, just leave that as blank. Box 1. This is box 1 now. Add box position. So this box is, let's just say we want to start this at the exact middle of the box, and so let's just leave it as 0 for now because we'll get to that later. So 0f 0f 0f, and then we want it to be, how about 2 by 2 by 10? So 2, 10. So it's 2 on either side and then 10 tall. And now, let's just start it at the top of this box. And since each one of these is like one of these, 8f would make that basically 0. So if we start, yeah, because the higher that is, the lower it is. The lower in the game it is. So if we leave that at 0, it should start at the top of this. So let's make it float 1 above just to make sure I'm doing that right. Let's make it -1. Then the next, to get to the middle of the actual object, let's just use, because 8 and 8, so 4 and 4. 4, 4. Now, we just have to do box 1.render F5, and we leave that blank, and add model render box 1. Now, if I save this, go over here and recompile it, and how much time is left? 3 minutes. Hopefully we can get into the game within that time, but because of the slow recompiling thing, we may not be able to. Okay, so I'll just come back when, never mind, it's done. So I'll come back when I'm in the game and can. Okay, so here I am with the game, and I'm gonna go see if I made the box right. So yes, we have our box, and okay, so we put it in the middle, not exactly right, but the pole seems to be in generally the right spot. It's kinda hard to tell, but I think that's 1 above it. It might be exactly on it. If I could trap one of these, we could maybe see it better. Whatever. But yeah, so that's basically right. We're gonna have to go fix the position, obviously. Okay, so for me, this is generally just a lot of experimenting. Nothing else. I'll close that. So I think that was exactly on the top, so let's just make it -2 to see if that changes it. Actually, oh right. Okay, I remember this now. That's where it starts. So it's going to go 10 down from there. So we'd actually have to make it -2 to make it exactly on the top, because -2 plus 10 is 8. So if we do -3, it should be right on top. And then 4, so we'd actually have to make this 2 and this 2. And then that should make it in the middle. So I'm going to try to recompile that again. And we wait for that. Okay, so let's run the start client. So it should be basically in the middle of the other box, and it should be one above. So it is one above. It does not seem to be in the middle on the Z. Go away. Okay, so is it on the middle in the X? No, okay, I did the middle wrong. Well, I'll get to that then. Let me just get rid of that. Okay, so I don't need that anymore. And I have 2 minutes to think about this. So maybe I did that wrong. Let's try. We can try 6 and see what we end up with from that. At least I know we did this right. So -2 is going to be exactly on the top of it. And I'll come back to you when that's recompiled. Okay, so it recompiled right, but I realized what I was doing wrong here. And that is, this should actually be 3. And that should be 3. Because the middle of this thing is, it doesn't have a middle. It's like, because even numbers can't have middles. So if it's 8, then closest you can get to a middle is 3 and 4. At least I think that's right. So I think if you have 3 here, oh, it's hard to explain, but if you get what I'm talking about, then good for you. And we'll see if that fixes it. And if it doesn't, then I think we should put 5s there instead. So once again, I'll return when that's recompiled because the lag is annoying. Okay, so here's the game. I actually realized how to make it even more in the center because this isn't going to be perfect, but if I thought about it right, then this should be closer. So yes, as you can see, it is a bit closer, but it's still not exactly right. These are weird controls. I haven't messed with these controls completely to how I'm used to. But so as you see, it's closer, but I still don't think it's exactly in the middle. Let's see from above. So yeah, actually that might be right. Okay, so that actually appears to be, yeah, that's close enough to the middle. Whatever. So now you have a box with another piece added to it, and if you learned anything, then you realize how to add even more boxes to it. But if you don't, then I'll just go over that. Okay, I found out that my audio lag before is mainly caused by like switching between Minecraft and this and running the actual recompilers. So I'm just gonna make different videos for each of those. But basically, as I was saying, you should realize how to make another box by now. And if you may notice, we didn't do this for box 1, but that doesn't matter right now because we're not working with the animation. Let's just add it there because we're going to need it in the future. And let's just add a box again, but on top of this, so we have a box, then the pole thing, and another box. So we can just copy and paste this, and we'll just have to change a few things. So first we got to change the name of it, obviously. So box 2. Then down here we need a box 2 render F5, and under here we need model render after box 2. So since we want this to be on top, that's at -2, so -2 minus 8. -10 should be perfect. Because it goes 8 down, we want it to be on the -2 part, so -10 plus 8 is -2, which is where this one starts. And then 10 plus -2 is 8, which is where that one starts. So it should all be lined up right. And I'll recompile that and come back when I'm in the game. Okay, so it should look like this, and we'll see what it looks like. It should look like a box. Now pull another box. And what do you know? It does. And the positions seem about right. Yes, all the positions seem to be right. And the first box is still floating a little bit, but that's fine. So yeah, we've made our box. It doesn't actually affect the hitbox of the box. That's actually in the entity file, but so the hitbox is not at all affected up at the top. But you have your model here. So I'm not sure what you would use this for, but I think we're going to try to make something out of it. So yeah, in the next tutorial, I'll be adding even more to this, and possibly even starting on animating it, depending on how far we get. I'll either do animating or textures next tutorial. Probably animating, because I prefer to do that first. So yeah, if you like this video, like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and thanks for watching.